Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be watching Thor, directed by Kenneth Branagh. This is a film that I've been really looking forward to revisiting on this big rewatch that we got going on because I don't remember a lot of this. The one thing I do remember is that there is a lot of Dutch angles. If you don't know what a Dutch angle is, it's when it looks like this, right? That's pretty much it. You're gonna see a lot of that uh, in this movie. That's the one thing I remember pretty much. I remember there's probably other things rattling around in my brain that I don't remember, but they ain't coming to me right now. And we're still kind of in a Dutch angle a little bit because I didn't flatten or straighten out my camera, but it's fine, you know. Maybe we should just do this entire video in a Dutch angle. I don't know how that's gonna work with the little circle for my reactions, but maybe we can try it. No, I'm not going to. Or maybe I will. Maybe I'll just decide halfway through. We're just gonna do this tilted. But yeah, I'm just really looking forward to hopping into this one. The one aspect that I am really interested in seeing is the character of Loki, which I mentioned in the Iron Man 2 reaction at the end of that one when I was briefly talking about this film. That the character of Loki has sort of changed a lot, or my opinion on him has changed a lot since my first time watching this film. So I'm really interested in seeing, this being my first time revisiting it in so many years that, now having, been with the Loki character for so long, is my opinion of him now going to change in his first outing? Can I see like all of the seeds being planted for who he is to become later on down the line? That's what I'm interested in. And of course, I also just want this to be a pretty solid standalone story. I know it's in the larger world of the MCU, so I don't know how standalone it can be, but I am curious about that as well. But yeah, besides that, I don't really have too many other things I want to talk about. I'm just really looking forward to getting into this one. I did want to mention, as always, that this is a companion series to another series on my channel called the IMDb Top 100 Movies Watch List series. I'm never gonna do one of these that isn't awkward and weird. But pretty much in that series, we're going through all of the top 100 movies on IMDb, and on that list is Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. And before we hit those two movies, I would like to rewatch all of the Marvel movies leading up to those two. Whether or not I go beyond them is entirely up in the air. I haven't decided because there's a lot of MCU projects following Endgame, and there's a lot of them I do not really care for. So we'll see what happens with that. But as it stands right now, we just need to get through the first three phases of the MCU. So why not continue it right now? So without further ado, this is Thor. Yeah, we're starting in New Mexico, picking up right after the ending of Iron Man 2. It does feel very connected following Iron Man 2. It does feel like this world is very big, which I guess you need if you want to build up to the Avengers, but There we go. We're already starting off with the Dutch angles, dude. That's 3 in a row.
Jane, I think you want to see this. What is that?
Yo, what? That is beautiful, whatever that is. Yo. Oh, I know what this is. Never mind. I know what's up. I forgot for a split second.
Where did he come
I like that abrupt cut to black. That was very abrupt. Like the music didn't lead up to it or anything. It was just black. Kind of like that. Kind of works. Oh, we're going back to 965 AD.
Mankind, from a realm of cold and darkness, came the frost giants.
Oh my god. Wow. The visual effects in this really hold up. Jesus. Wow. The way it's shot and captured, just the visuals of this, it looks so beautiful and grand.
A wise king never seeks out war, but he must always be ready for it.
Right. I'm glad he's instilling this onto his kids at a very young age. I love this shot. That's so good. Just from the back, him raising the hammer immediately gives you a sense of who he is amongst these people. The little wink, it's just so cocky.
Thor, Odin's son, my heir.
Ooh, that cut to Loki right there. It's just, it highlights that, like, that anger and that deep, just seethed rage that he has for his father at that moment.
I, Odin Allfather, proclaim you
What is he waiting for? Oh, can he sense it? Can he sense that something is happening?
frost giants.
Yeah, he knows. Oh my god. Yo. Oh my god. Where did that thing come from? Oh, okay, I get it. Never mind. The film answered my questions for me. That's cool.
If it's any consolation, I think you're right. About the frost giants, about Laufey.
Is he trying to goad him on? I love the visuals in this. Dude, it holds up pretty damn well. Just if you take away the visual effects from it, just the way the film looks just on its own it's just beautiful. It's shot really, really well. I'm actually really, really amazed by it. Look at this. Yes. I love this. Again, the visual effects are insane. I'm so happy with how this looks. I just love how cold and eerie Jotunheim is. You know, just having it pretty much just constantly night, having it set in the cold to the point where you can see the character's breath does add a lot to that as well. Does add a lot to just like the eeriness and just how frightening this place is. And, you know, it also sets our characters that are at a disadvantage just from the get-go. Just by placing them in an unfamiliar environment places them in a disadvantage, which is, you know, needed for a story like this. Ooh, just the red eyes.
Run back home, little princess.
Dad.
At least make it a challenge for me.
Again, his ego is just through the roof right now. You can already see the... Oh wow, you can already see the... You can already see the foundations for his character arc being laid out from the get-go, which is good. Even back when he was a kid, you can see it. Wow. I like the slow-mo there. Really, you know, to highlight the coolness of it. Ooh.
Don't let him touch you!
I mean, that makes sense, but... That is such a smart way to reveal that. Oh my god. Just, again, I'm a fan of visual storytelling, and that right there is a good example of it. Oh, I wish we could have seen that on screen, but I get why. Oh my god. What is that? The CGI on that doesn't fully work for me. But everything else from a visual standpoint looks great. Oh my god. Like that. Like that's just not all throwing hammer and then beating people up. It's like, I'm gonna use my environment as well. I'm gonna use the rock. I'm just gonna create like little shards from the rocks around me to do damage. Also, hell yeah. It's really making a point to show you all of Thor's powers right now, which is really good setup for the rest of the film.
Find out! Open the bridge!
Oh, he said he wasn't gonna open it if it endangered Asgard. They're just gonna let this. Yeah, he can't open it right now. Yo.
He'll get what he came for. War and death.
I do like that this entire plot is just Thor's fault. Right? Because then it makes it very, very personal and raises, you know, the stakes for the rest of the film.
The old ways are done. You'd stand giving speeches while Asgard falls.
You are a vain, greedy, cruel boy!
And you are an old man and a fool!
I like that back and forth right there. It did feel very grand.
Father.
Okay, maybe that didn't work for me, but everything else in this scene, it's going pretty well.
You are unworthy of these realms.
Ooh.
Unworthy
You can
of
just-
your title.
That I knew you can pull off. I didn't know about the little patches though.
Of the loved ones you have betrayed.
Cut to Loki right there. Smart.
Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
Yes. Is that when he gave it the enchantment for the hammer? Or was it always like that and he was just a reminder for the audience? That doesn't make sense, actually. No, what I said first was correct. And now we've caught back up to the start of the film. I was going to make a point in that other scene before things started ramping up that I'm going to save for the review at the end. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I just need to remember it.
What realm is this? Alfheim? Dornheim?
New Mexico?
You dare threaten
Yo.
so puny a weapon?
Her first reaction is to just tase him. Even this shot, great. Great.
I grazed him, but she tasered him.
Yes, I did.
She's proud of it.
Just taking a little blood.
How dare you attack the son of Odin?
Need some help. I'm trying to help.
Yo, not glad, but I'm shocked they were able to restrain him. This is very, this has a very, very different tone than the first part of the film. And hey, now we've caught up to Iron Man 2 now. Kind of.
Look, the lensing around these edges is characteristic of an Einstein-Rosen bridge.
A what?
I thought you were a science major.
Political science.
She was the only applicant.
I'm surprised he could just slip out of that. On drugs or something. To be fair, that's kind of what everyone else thought. But they just let him sneak. How did he get out? Where did he go?
Okay.
How were you gonna track him? Yeah.
Exactly.
She's gonna load up with the taser gun again.
What?
I forgot about that bit. Honestly, someone should just start making money. Like, just monetize it. Someone should just take it over, be like, $10 per attempt. You have to pay me $10 if you want to try and pull the hammer out. You can use whatever means you want. You can do this. You can try and grab it. $10. I'm surprised no one has tried this yet. Why am I the first person to think of this? It's a great business opportunity we got going on here.
Did it work?
Yeah, it did, man. Now we have really caught up with the ending of Iron Man 2.
His mortal form has grown weak. I need sustenance.
I do like that we're having him talk in a more kind of Shakespearean and grand manner than all the other regular humans in this film. Loki's still thinking about what he learned. To be fair, I can't even blame him.
He's arrogant, he's reckless, he's dangerous. You saw how he was today. Is that what Asgard needs from its king?
I mean, Loki is kind of right, you know?
Love, he said. There were traitors in the House of Odin.
Are they starting to suspect?
Loki's always been one for mischief, but you're talking about something else entirely.
Whoever's playing that guy that just spoke does sound very, very Shakespearean in the way he's delivering his lines. And you know, here's the point I was gonna make earlier. Never mind, something important is happening, so I can't say it. That reveal, just that slow turnaround with the red eyes and the blue.
You were knee-deep in Jotun blood. Why would you take me?
You were an innocent child.
No.
I thought we could unite our kingdoms one day, bring about an alliance, bring about a permanent...
Oh, I see.
You know, it all makes sense now why you favored Thor all these years. Because no matter how much you claim to love me, you could never have a frost giant sitting on the throne of Asgard.
God damn. Oh my god. I don't know how well this works for someone who hasn't seen everything after this. But god damn. Now, watching that again after everything. Oh my. This is the closest I've come to crying since Cinema Paradiso, dude. I'm not even kidding. Oh. Oh. Also, goddamn Odin. I'm still confused as to what happened with Odin in that scene.
Just drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
I want to know how many people started doing that, like in restaurants after this movie came out. And if you did, you're a horrible person, by the way.
Oh my god. This is going on Facebook. Smile.
Dumbass! 50 miles west of here.
Why?
He's just gonna walk the whole way?
Hey! That's my stuff!
Oh my god. Did they just confiscate all of... What's happening?
Agent Coulson with
Oh,
Is that supposed to
okay.
mean something?
Finally, he's given something to do in the plot. I'm surprised they're treating S.H.I.E.L.D. as more of like an antagonistic force in this. I like that change though. That's really, really interesting.
All Father, we must speak with you urgently.
No, he's taking a nap. He can't answer right now. Wow. That is such a good reveal right there. Just seeing him holding the little staff. Yes. Ooh, this shot. I love that we thought. Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna be like, Loki was the only one standing in the scene, and it helps to like show that he finally has power. And the Dutch angle of that does help to emphasize how much bigger and taller he is than everyone else, and how much he just sort of just towers over them in a way. It makes him more of a, you know, physical, terrifying presence in that scene. And yeah, really, really, really well done. So far, my favorite parts of this have just been all of the stuff with Asgard and Jotunheim and all of this. And every time we cut back to the Earth stuff, it's good, but it's not as good from the Asgard stuff. And I do think it's due in part to Kenneth Branagh. This is the point I was trying to make earlier, and I can finally say it now, is that I had watched his version of Hamlet, the filmed version. And, oh, it's this scene.
I need a horse!
I remember that. Okay, back to the point I was making. So I'd seen his version of Hamlet, right? And so he has a very good idea of what the dialogue should sound like in this sort of Shakespearean grand manner. And you can see a lot of that being used here, even though, you know, Kenneth Branagh was in his version of Hamlet that he directed, and he's not in this. He still knows how to talk to actors, how to get those performances out of them. And I feel like everyone from the Asgard and Jotunheim side of it are all just delivering exactly the type of dialogue in the manner that they're supposed to be delivering it in order to, you know, recreate that Shakespearean sound. That is the point I've been wanting to make for the longest time, and I finally got it out. I will probably restate that at the end in a more coherent manner when I'm not trying to focus on two different things at once.
That's no satellite crash. They would have hauled the...
Wow, they've really like decked this entire thing out. I'm surprised Thor is able to like just break in so easily like this. Like S.H.I.E.L.D. has pretty good defenses, right? And he's just able to sneak around. My first move would be to guard the hammer though, not really send people out to go looking for him.
I need eyes up high with a gun.
Yes, sir. Finally, we get another good reveal, actually. Kind of good reveal. More like a decent cameo coming up.
Talk to me.
There we go.
You want me to slow him down, sir? Or are you sending in more guys for him to beat up?
It's so weird that like one of the main Avengers just being shown for the first time in a cameo appearance. I love how slow he's fighting now in comparison to how he fought earlier in the film. You know, he's just so taken out of his element here that it kind of works for me. Wow. All right. He's not worthy. His character arc. It's so good to use this as like a side of his character arc, where he's at currently. It's a smart, you know, just physical representation of where our character is at this moment in time.
One way or another, we find out what we need to know. We're good at that.
Again, I do like that we're making S.H.I.E.L.D. more of an antagonistic figure. Also, that's really cool.
The burden of the throne has fallen to me now.
Again, another line that has a different meaning now. That almost, I'm good, but it almost got me. I do think it was smart to have that scene right after the moment with Thor trying to pick up the hammer and him failing to do that, because then it's like we're constantly beating down on our main character and having him struggle and just, you know, making things worse and more difficult for him. Good way of building tension, making his arc feel much more real, because it's all related to the consequences of his actions and all of that stuff.
Oh, Johnny. There you are. It's gonna be all right. I'm taking you home now.
What troubles you, gatekeeper?
I turned my gaze upon you in Jotunheim, but could neither see you nor hear you.
Heimdall knows what's up now.
You've been very kind to me. I've been far less grateful than you deserve.
Well, I hit you with my car a couple of times, so I think that kind of evens things out.
I do like that now is when he's starting his actual arc and he's becoming more humble, more down to earth. It's good. It's good. And I like these scenes. Chris Hemsworth is like actually really charismatic as this, you know, in this role.
Your world is one of the 9 realms of the cosmos, linked to each other by the branches of Yggdrasil, the world's tree. Now you see it every day without realizing.
The tree. Oh my god. I have to not think about the future and I have to look at the now. Yeah. How are they gonna sneak through? Okay, never mind. He's just gonna let it happen.
You would defy the commands of Loki, our king. Break every oath you have taken as warriors and commit treason to bring Thor back.
Yes.
Good.
Oh,
Ensure my brother.
I remember this. Yes. Imagine if they filmed this like guerrilla style and they just had these guys walk around and they just didn't get any permits or anything. These are all real reactions. I know that's not the case, but just imagine if they did do that.
At base, we've got Xena, Jackie Chan, and Robin.
That's racist. That is... There's no way you could get away with that today.
Found you!
How did they find him so fast? I really hope no one was standing underneath that when it dropped.
My friends, I'm just a man. I'll only be in the way or worse get one of you killed. But I can help get these people to safety.
He's finally thinking about the people first. Oh my god. Oh my god. Also the 7-Eleven product placement. I want to know, what is it made out of? That's...
Taking their lives will gain you nothing. So take mine.
Mm-hmm. The self-sacrifice is sort of a conclusion to his arc.
No!
Whosoever holds this hammer, if it be worthy.
Oh, I like that. How it's just off in the distance and we're treating it like a rocket. Oh my god. I don't even know how you're supposed to destroy that. Like, what can you do? Man.
Excuse me.
They needed to have one little last confrontation.
Know this, son of Thor. You and I, we fight for the same cause, the protection of this world.
Wait, I need to leave with you.
That sounded ADR'd in, but it's fine. It's fine. It's a good little joke. Again, wow, visually insane. I still love the way it looks.
Your death came at the hand of Laufey.
Oh, I forgot about that that reveal entirely. What? What is happening?
I swear to you, Mother.
Is this all a means to try and keep the throne? What is it that his staff does exactly? Oh my god! Whoa! I had a feeling something like that was gonna happen. Yeah. I really love the way that this is. I love the visual effects. I don't know if I love the way that it's shot necessarily, especially in the earlier fight. It did look very quick cutting. It was hard to tell what was going on at a few moments. But for the most part, visual effects wise, it looks incredible. Like just this is really good.
Destroy the bridge, you'll let us see her again!
Again, further cementing the ending of his arc, the self-sacrifice emotionally. I'm surprised Odin got down here so fast. What the hell? How close was he to the bridge?
I could have done it, Father! I could have done it! For you! For all of us!
No, that line. No. I'm good. I'm good.
Loki, no.
I love the somber music choice because we're now in, or we're still in, you know, Thor's perspective, and we're like really feeling everything he's lost and given up by the end of this journey.
There will never be a wiser king than you, or a better father.
I don't know about that one.
So Earth is lost to us.
No.
Oh.
There is always hope.
What does that mean? Are they gonna rebuild it? What are we cooking here?
She searches for you.
Oh, I like that cut. I like that that's where we ended. You know, we end on the characters' emotions and what they're longing for. Really good. Really good place to stop it. Also, the visuals for these end credits, for this end credit sequence is insane. I love it. Ooh, I like the title logo for this too. Yeah. Filmed by Kenneth Branagh. Yes, we can tell. Or I can tell at least.
Dr. Silver.
I'm surprised he only shows up in the post credits. Yes, sir. Man, I can't wait for Captain America next week. Oh, that's gonna be such an interesting one. It's one that I haven't seen in a minute, but I remember really, really enjoying, and I do like that that was what they decided to tease that film with, because yeah, that has some major ramifications for the whole series going forward. But we gotta finish talking about Thor first. So we just finished up Thor. Yeah, this was really, really solid. I liked it a lot more than I remember liking it. I liked it a lot more than I remember liking it. It's not to say that I hated it before, but I thought it was before, and now I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty solid. I do think for the most part, the parts that were the most captivating for me was everything involving Asgard and Jotunheim, because that seemed more in line of what Kenneth Branagh was probably drawn to for this project. You know, I mentioned in the reaction that I had seen his version of his film version of Hamlet, which is pretty much like almost a direct adaptation of the stage play, but sort of modernized a bit. He does change a few things. It's different, but it does capture that same sort of style and tone and sort of that Shakespearean aspect of it, and that sort of element does come through a lot in this as well. And it's clear that, you know, even though he was in his version of Hamlet, he's not present as an actor in this one, but he knows how to direct the actors to give those performances and to get that sort of grandness and that delivery out of them. And it does work. There was one guy that I remember. He's in the Warriors 3, I think they were called. I don't remember I don't know what their names are, but he's one of them, and he really sounded like a Shakespearean actor for every scene that he was in, and he was great. I loved all of the performances in here, and it's clear to me that style. I wish that sort of style of performance and dialogue would sort of carry through for all of these characters for the rest of the MCU, even though I know I know that doesn't happen. I know that they do lose that Shakespearean grandness to them pretty soon, actually. But you know, it's okay, I guess. I even though I do prefer this style of performance to what we have now. I'm still I like what they're doing both ways. We'll get into what happens with Thor later. We'll get into what happens with Loki later, but yes, I think all of the performances in here are pretty damn solid, especially from everyone in the Asgard and Jotunheim side. The visual effects in this, I know it's not necessarily all that good to talk about the technical side of a film so early on, but I do think that the visual effects in this hold up so well. It's actually crazy how beautiful this film looks, I will say, and the visual effects just wow. It blends in so nicely with the world, and it's just you can tell it's a visual effect, but you don't mind because it looks so real and just so lived in. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. The story itself was it's nothing. It's predictable, but it works for what it is, and I feel like the performances bump that up a lot. I have no problem with a predictable story as long as I care about the characters and everything like that. I'm fine with a story. I'm fine with being able to guess where a story is going as long as I'm engaged with the characters and the world surrounding it. And I was. So it's just, yeah, I had no problems with that. I can see some people having an issue with it, but personally, I'm all good with it. I will say that the stuff that was happening on Earth was slightly less engaging for me, with the exception of like anytime we would treat Shield as like a antagonistic force, because that is just so different from what we're used to in these movies. We're used to Shield being just the morally good guys, with the exception of well, actually no, that's kind of it. That's what I was gonna say was a spoiler for a future MCU movie, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're talking about where we are now. But everything that I want to talk about regarding this film is so tied into the future of the MCU that it's really difficult for me to look at this on its own merit, because my mind kept flashing forward, and that's sort of a weird feeling, because like I was trying to like listen and understand certain lines of dialogue and how they play into this film versus how they play into the future. Like, without spoiling anything, I don't know what I just said was very confusing. It does not make any sense to someone who is new to the MCU. But the line of, when Loki visits Thor in the Shield holding cell, and he tells him like, now I have the burden of the throne. That has two different meanings now. So it's hard for me, living in the future, looking back, it's hard for me to look at it on its own merit, because what that line means in the current state of the MCU hits so much harder, and it hurts so much harder, and it hits in a different way than it did in this film. When you're looking at this film on its own merit, it's just kind of like a generic line where it's just like, oh, now I have all this power, but I don't want this power, but I actually do want all this power. It's sort of like that whole thing. And then now, looking back, you realize just how painful that statement is. I don't know, but like I said at the top of this, like I was really interested in seeing them laying the foundations for Loki's character arc. And if you were to look at where Loki is now, and and if you were to compare where Loki is now to what he was being set up as here, you can see like a through line. It feels like they planned all of this out perfectly, when I know for a fact they didn't. I know for a fact they knew that they were going to bring Loki back, but I don't think they knew just how important and how how much more in depth we're gonna get with his character at that moment in time. Like I don't think what they're doing with him now is what they planned when they made this film, but it feels that way. And I'm praising Loki now. I'm praising the show Loki because it took some of these aspects of this first film and it made them, it expanded upon them. It peeled those layers back. The argument scene between Loki and Odin is probably it is my favorite scene in this whole film. It's just two powerful actors just going back and forth. And the fact that Tom Hiddleston can hold his own against Anthony Hopkins is an insane thing to think about. Like this Anthony Hopkins, the man who played Hannibal Lecter, Academy Award winning actor Anthony Hopkins, the fact that he isn't the one just dominating the scene is insane. The fact that they both feel just like big, grand actors at the top of their game, it's insane how you can sort of match that energy with another one of the greatest actors of our time. I'm really impressed by Tom Hiddleston's performance in this. He is, wow. Wow, man. Yeah, but he really taps into the emotions of this character, and that's something you can see in this film very, very clearly. And that's something that only grows and grows as the series goes on, and it's something that I'm really excited to see more of as we continue down the MCU. And we'll see him again very, very soon, actually, in 2 weeks when we cover the Avengers. So I'm really looking forward to that. And the humor in this, it's very standard, like fish out of water type of thing, where he's trying to fit in, but he doesn't really know any Earth culture, human culture type of thing. And it's like I said, something that you expect. But Chris Hemsworth plays it so straight that he just believes that he just doesn't think he's doing anything wrong. And it works. It works. And also he's charismatic as hell. Even in this film where he's like trying to be cocky and arrogant, he's so charismatic. You can't help but like kind of just be drawn to him. He's a phenomenal actor, and I'm a big fan of what he delivered here, both in the comedy aspect and also the more Shakespearean portrayal that he got going on. But yeah, overall, I don't really have too much else to say. I thought this was pretty solid. So yeah, I think this is going to be yet another short review. But yeah, I'm just going to wrap it up here. I don't really have too much else I want to talk about regarding this. Yeah. It's just a solid superhero flick. Yeah. I'm really trying to think of something else to say because this is going to be a shorter review, and I would like it to be a little bit longer, but I don't know. There's not too much here thematically that's like rich and interesting, but I don't think this film is really striving for that necessarily. So, yeah, we're just gonna everything that it does try and discuss in terms of in a thematic and like deeper way is all through the character of Loki. And the only way I can talk about that now is if I discuss things that happen later, and I don't want to do that. So we're gonna have to put that on hold, and we'll come back to that in a few months. I have to think about when we really start to peel back the character of Loki, and that's in a few months. So buckle up for that. But yes, I don't know if I'm going to be covering the Loki show on this channel. I feel like of all of the Phase 4 projects, that one is very, very likely to get covered on here because I do have a lot to say about that, especially with what happens in Season 2. I have a lot to talk about. So I feel like that would be really interesting. Maybe I'll just do a review, if not a full-on reaction to the whole series. We'll see what I do with that. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys got the chance to check out Thor. If you did, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about Thor. And yeah, I can't wait to watch Captain America: The First Avenger with you guys next week. That one is one that I actually have a pretty good memory of. Finally, we're getting to MCU movies that I remember. So I can't wait to discuss that one with you guys. This next one is another one that means quite a bit to me emotionally, especially regarding its ending. So if you haven't seen Captain America: The First Avenger, please take the time and watch it before next week when I cover it. Yeah, I hope you guys got to check out Thor again. I would encourage you to watch these films on your own before watching my reactions, because that's the only way you can get your own properly formed opinion on these things. So once again, thank you so much for watching. I've said that multiple times, but it really does mean the world that you clicked on this video and watched it. But yeah, just thank you from the bottom of my heart. It really does mean a lot. Yeah, I hope to see you guys next week for Captain America. Long live cinema.